Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Follow Your Passion. Please welcome my guest of today. It's Lainey Moore. She's the founder of Goat Yoga. Her ID went viral in 2016, and now she has 10 satellite locations all over the USA. She provided Goat Yoga for Google, Facebook, United Entertainment Artists, and companies are counting. During 2020 in the lockdown, she came up with the Goatel, a vacation rental that is focused on improving mental health and includes a goat happy hour experience. So you probably already can imagine what it's all about. It's about goats and it's about yoga. Please welcome Lainey. Hi, Lainey. How are you?
Hi, thank you.
So tell me about this idea you had. You had a lot of benefit from being around goats yourself, right?
Right, yeah. In 2015, I was going through a pretty tough part of my life. I had gotten a divorce and had been diagnosed with the disease. And, I just took refuge in spending time with my goats. It was, they calmed me down. They disconnected me from everything. And so I started inviting people over to my house that were having similar problems. And I started calling it Goat Happy Hour, and a yoga instructor came and she says, "You should let me have a yoga class out here." So that's really how Goat Yoga started and changed my life forever.
Nice. And I remember that you told her that you just had young goats, and they were uncontrollable, so to speak.
Yeah, they goats, they're prey animals, so they like to be on top of things so they can see clearly if a predator's coming. So it's just their natural instinct to jump up. And if I'm out in the barn cleaning or doing anything, you have babies, they're going to be jumping all over you. And so she saw this and she was like, "Hey." And I just told her, "Okay, but the goats are going to be all over people." And she was like, "Cool, let's do this."
Right. And how did this first lesson go? Were they the participants very enthused about it, or?
Oh my goodness. I put it on Facebook as an event, and we were really just thinking that our family and good friends would come and support us because we were crazy. And all of a sudden I look and there's like 400 people interested in this event. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't have that many people on my farm. So I took the event down and put it on Eventbrite so that I could register people. And the first class was a sold out class of 40 people. And from there, it just exploded.
Wow. And of course, lockdown happened, all the events and classes and trainings, everything got canceled. You came up with Goatel. Tell me about it.
Well, on my farm, I had an old chicken coop that was just totally disgusting. And so I thought, after we had closed down all our Goat Yoga locations, I thought, maybe I could remodel that and call it the Goatel, and then everybody who comes gets a free goat happy hour with it. And it was just a way to get people out of their homes. It was a lockdown at the time, and people just needed to be outside with animals. And so that's really where the concept came. And I figured I needed kind of a pandemic proof idea, because no one wanted to get together with 30 other people for a goat yoga class. And so it just made a lot of sense because everyone's mental health was taking a real beating during that time. And I figured, especially after the lockdown, and we would get a lot of business for it. And it proved correct.
Nice. Yeah, because you already shared with me, you're going to open 2 new locations, right?
Yes. Yep. We absolutely are. So the old chicken coop that was on my farm has now been, that's actually where I am right now. And I use it now as an office for my podcasts and meetings and that. But we have one in Georgia, Texas, Michigan, and we'll be opening one in Illinois and Washington
Wow.
in the next couple of months.
Nice. So You also said that you provided Goat Yoga for Google, Facebook, United Entertainment Artists. Those are some pretty big companies.
Yeah, we ended up, doing some corporate health and wellness events for some of the biggest companies in the world. And I figured, if it was just a one-off, maybe it wasn't something that was going to resonate, but Google has had us back dozen time, and Facebook and Nike. We do a lot of events for Nike, and so it's just a way to get your employees out of the office, or maybe they're working at home now and they want to have a reunion. But it's just, adults take themselves so seriously, and it's just a fun time to get out and be silly and connect with the goats and laugh, and it's really fun.
I can imagine that. And do you see, I'm not sure how it is with goats, but do they also have those, let's say that all the young ones are born in spring, or are they still born all over the time?
It's mostly in spring. I mean, they can have goats, any time of the year really, but spring is really when it explodes. And I don't personally breed goats because I would fall in love with every single one and I'd have 1,000 goats. So yeah. I know my limits.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So, did a lot of people turn to you indeed for the mental health aspect during the lockdown?
Yeah, I did the goat happy hours for free during all of 2020. And I just you should have seen the parents that brought their kids with desperation in their eyes, please entertain my kids with something other than, a TV or a video game. And it's just so needed just to get outside. And a lot of these people, they live in neighborhoods with, they were stuck together, and just to get outside with some open space and some loving animals, and that was really important. So that's really what I preach, and I definitely practice what I preach, because I go out there every single day and spend at least 2 to 3 hours with my animals and just disconnect from the day.
Nice. Do you have other animals at your farm besides goats?
Yeah, I have 3 giant guardian dogs, and they are super loving. That, if you walked up to my farm and you were outside the gate, you would never want to come in because they look like they're going to kill you. But then the minute I let people into the gate, they know, okay, they're okay, and I'm going to love them, and they're just big, huge cuddle dogs. So
nice. What kind of breed are they?
Great Pyrenees and Anatolian Shepherd.
Those are very big dogs, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
And they think they're lap dogs, so it's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes I still think they're a puppy.
Yeah, but they protect the goats. We have a pretty high predator load out here with mountain lions and black bear and coyote, and so we don't have any problems with these 3 dogs around.
Nice. And some other animals as well?
I do have a couple of pigs. I have a pig whose name is Dawson, and he's about 200 pounds. He loves classical music. He hums to me. He's very cuddly. The other one is my partner's pig, and she is in love with him. And her name is Olive, and I feel like she looks at me like she's plotting to kill me because she wants to live in the house with him. So I don't know. I watch myself with her.
Yeah, you got some competition on the farm.
I do.
Nice. Isn't it amazing what the healing effect of animals can be?
It really is. And there's been a lot of science behind it too, how it, can slow down your heart rate and lower your blood pressure. And I wouldn't be preaching this unless I truly believed in it, because I've seen it, hundreds of people come through, and by the time they leave, they're just like, this was magical. This is exactly what I needed. And you know, a lot of times I just have people come all by themselves and they just sit out in the forest with the animals and spend some time. So I just actually finished a goat happy hour right before I hopped on this podcast.
Yeah.
And it was a lady from Idaho, and she came all by herself. And she's a mental health therapist at the university there. And she said the semester just got done and the students are just absolutely burned out, and I'm burned out. So I just took a road trip and looked at your experience and really wanted to do it. And when she left, she was just like, oh, this is exactly what I needed. So
Nice. So who knows, maybe her students will come as well.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So could you give another example of let's say a transformation that somebody experienced when they visited your farm?
You know, when it comes to goat yoga, when I first started, there was several people that came that they were going through chemo, and their reward at the end was to go to a goat yoga class, and they bring all their supporters with them. And you know, when they walk in and I see them for the first time after, you know, they would tweet pictures of themselves hooked up to chemo machines and say, I'm going to goat yoga. And so just to see, you know, that you know, just even watching cute videos of goats jumping around or interacting with people was helpful to her. And another lady that came, she said they weren't going to come because her husband had gotten cancer, and she was the primary caregiver. And her daughter said, Mom, you got to go, you know, we need a break. And when she was telling me about it, she started crying, and she says, this is the first time that I've smiled in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So it you know, I've heard some just really amazing stories. And you know, people that come to my farm, one lady said that she was really dealing with a lot of grief because she lost her partner to COVID, and she had gotten COVID too, and she was grieving and angry that that happened, and she never realized that animals would help her, you know, let that go. And so you know, it's, animals are great therapists. And
oh yeah, definitely.
So
Nice. Doesn't it make you feel blessed that you're able to add this value to the lives of your clients?
oh my goodness, it not only makes the clients happy, but goats love attention, the dogs love attention, they love, you know, we don't give them treats, we don't let people give them treats because that makes kind of rude petting zoo goats. And so these guys, when you walk into any one of our locations, farms, the goats just naturally gravitate towards you and know that you're going to love them. And so it makes the animals happy, it makes our clients happy. But as the owners of the farm, it makes us happy seeing that, you know, so it's just a win-win-win.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel so grateful to be able to be in this business, because mental health is important, and it's been such a stigma for so long, and we need to be done with that. We need to, all of us probably have some sort of type of mental health something going on.
Challenge.
You know, I have bad anxiety, and so a lot of times I will do my meetings and just walk the farm with all my goats in tow. So
yeah. So how many goats do you have on your farm, Leni?
I have 10.
10.
Yep.
Nice.
I have a limit of 13. My birthday is the 13th, and my first goat yoga class was on the 13th. And I had 13 goats. So I lost 3 during the past few years. And so I'm just kind of waiting for that special time to get, find a rescue so I'm not in
Yeah.
any hurry.
No, nice. But it's I think with animals, it's this unconditional love that they're showing, right?
Yeah.
We got two dogs at our house, and we got one cat. And every morning when I get downstairs, the dogs are greeting us, and they're just so cuddly, and you just feel this unconditional love. And there's those very little precious moments that you share with them, and it makes you start the day very positive.
Yep. And they, you can leave for 30 seconds and come back and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you.
Yeah, exactly.
But the special
where
thing
have you
too,
been? I've missed you.
yes. And I think that with goats in particular, they don't need a bond with a human to love them. And so when people come to the farm and most of them have never had any interaction with goats. And if they have, it's, the rude petting zoo type goats. And they're just always caught off guard by like, wow, they're just so into me and love me. And so they don't need a bond to love humans. And so that's really special because a lot of animals, you need to get to know them
Yeah.
for them to come over, especially like cats or some dogs.
Yeah.
So that's a really special characteristic. So when
Nice.
everybody goes to their yoga classes, they feel loved.
Nice. And do you because you got 10 goats, do you all know them by name, or how do you say it? Do you by distinction?
They all have names, yes.
Yeah.
And they have collars on with little heart tags that have their names on them.
Nice.
Yes.
And do you also get if people come to your goat yoga lessons regularly, do they start recognizing the goats as well, or do they still see just the same 10 goats?
They do. That people usually leave with a favorite, and it's almost like they can look into your soul and bond with you when you're with them. And sometimes, it'll be a different goat, but usually they always leave and they're like, yep, Romeo is my favorite, or this,
Yeah,
Jim is my favorite, or so it's pretty special.
nice. Maybe you should start a fan page for each goat and see who got the most likes.
I do not have time for that.
Nice. So, how's your partner looking at what you're doing as an entrepreneur and doing the goat yoga and GoTel?
He had a big part in helping me, build it. He's the spreadsheet guy, and I'm not. So I remember the first birthday that we were together, he says, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, will you build me the spreadsheet that I want? So that's what he did. We went up to his cabin, and it's like a beautiful spot in the Mount Hood National Forest, and we stayed inside building a spreadsheet.
Nice.
But he's also a serial entrepreneur, and that's really what we enjoy. We often just walk around the property and a loop around the farm and discuss marketing strategies or growth strategies. And he, in 2020, he became very ill, and it wasn't COVID, but he now has a lung disease. And so it's usually you have 2 to 5 years with this disease. So he's really struggling right now. There was a time where he couldn't even come outside because he was so sick and hooked up to oxygen. And
oh wow.
So he's at least now he can come outside and spend time with the animals, but it's been a really tough road, and I want to be able to focus on him, but I'm trying to, like, survive with my business, and the numbers aren't quite what they were in 2019, and we're just trying to catch up, and so it's and now there's so many different goat yoga businesses all over the world. We're not the only ones anymore, so not everyone's coming to our classes. They might have one right in their own town, or
Yeah.
so it's been, that's also one of the reasons that the Gotel was born too, is I wasn't able to trademark goat yoga. They told me it was too generic, and that destroyed me. But I was able to trademark the Gotel and Goat
Nice.
Happy Hour, and so no one can take that. So it doesn't matter how many pop up all over, they can't have that name.
Nice. At least you got that settled then.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to hear about your partner, but
Thank you.
it's great to hear that you share like the same passion, that you're both entrepreneurs. So you can cooperate with each other. You can discuss challenges you're facing, right? Help each other. And I
Yeah.
think it's very good to have this support from your spouse, from your partner as well.
Right.
So if you look at the Gotel and the Goat Happy Hour, are you also looking for other ways of adding services to your portfolio?
The growth of this business has been really, it's not normal since 2000, when it went viral in 2016. Usually you have time to build a business plan and think about things, but I was riding by the seat of my pants, and it was like the first 2 years were spent doing 30 interviews a day, sometimes.
Oh, wow.
To CNN, Wall Street Journal. I mean, it was everywhere. And so I just focused on that, and I hired people to help me grow it. And it seemed like, since it was a viral business, that I had to, usually people, I feel like I did in 3 years what most people, it takes them 10 years to do. And I won the media lottery, which made that happen. But I didn't win the money lottery. And so I still have to make that part happen. And then, the pandemic happened. And so that set me back. But, it just, going viral doesn't happen to people very often. And I feel that that was a gift, and I can't let that go. And so, it hasn't been great the past few years, but I can't give up.
Yeah, I totally understand it. And it's especially some businesses that are dependent on group classes or events or stuff like that. It's a survival business.
Yeah.
Due to the lockdown, and that's bad, because we, by nature, we're social animals. We need to be around people,
Right.
and it's a shame that such a pandemic as COVID happened. It killed literally a lot of businesses as well, not only people but also businesses.
Yeah.
But it shows your perseverance and determination to continue. You came up with the Gotel, which is a great idea. You have the Goat Happy Hour experience, and I just hope that it will get back to normal with regards to your business.
Well, what I need to make that happen is I need more licensees. I need more goat yoga locations all over the world. I need more Gotels. So if anybody out there is listening to this and you have an awesome farm and some goats, we should talk.
Yeah. Well, you never know who listens to the episode. I'm a strong believer of things happen for a reason, and that everything will come. I'm not saying everything will have a positive ending, but everything comes what you deserve, so to speak. And hearing your story, you're not in it for the money. You're in it to help others as well. You had this great experience yourself. The power, the healing power of goats, and you just want everybody to have access to that, right? And that's so I'm convinced that it will succeed. It's just a matter of perseverance, I would say, and just stay positive, and things will work out. I'm pretty sure about it.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're a entrepreneur, the number one quality that you need to have is tenacity. And right now, I feel like I have this crazy tenacity to just make it happen no matter what. And so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I truly hope that this Gotels, and the two new locations that you're opening will be a great success and help you at least survive and start making a profit again, because currently it's just surviving, I would say. And it's I'm not sure if I look at the Netherlands where I'm based, almost everything is back to normal again. We've got no limitations anymore for what's the situation in the US currently? Are there still limitations or?
No, it's the same. It's you wouldn't know there was a pandemic anywhere. Luckily, I live in an area where, if I go into a store, there are still people wearing masks, and but if I go over to the next town, which is more rural, no one's wearing a mask. And so it's really it's a big divide here. Our politics is absolutely crazy. And yeah, I just I think I've become a hermit. I just stay on my farm all the time. But I can tell things are starting to pick up with business, because we are, Google just contacted us last week and said, we'll be ready to do more events soon. And so hopefully that happens. And but I think basically everyone's living like there's nothing going on. All the while our cases are rising too. So it's
and I also think that even though the lockdown has ended, so to speak, a lot of people are still a bit hesitant about joining group classes, and it literally has left its mark in the consciousness of people. And that's a pity.
Well, especially as if you earn your money from putting on public events and classes. So
exactly, yeah. So I think we could spend hours. Oh, another question I wanted to ask you, because your ID went viral in 2016. Before that, were you already an entrepreneur, or?
I worked for a company, and I was their marketing director. And it was, I loved the job. I worked there for 10 years. And when Goat Yoga started going viral, I didn't tell my boss about it.
Okay.
I was hiding it because I felt like I was cheating on him by having a loyalty to something else. And he found out by reading it on CNN that I was going to be leaving and starting a full-time Goat Yoga business. And so I remember the day he walked up and sat down in my office and said, "So when were you going to tell me?" So,
Yeah.
so that day we kind of worked it out where I was done there and he was going to hire his wife on, and I was gone a month later, and I had a friend that loaned me some money and to get me started, and I just went for it, and here we are 6 years later.
Yeah. So you didn't have any entrepreneurial experience before you started
I
following your
did.
passion?
Yeah, I did. For several years, I worked in Phoenix, and I started a few companies. Well, I didn't start them personally, but I helped build them. Startups are really fun for me. I have a bit of ADHD, so I get distracted easy. And if I have, new things all the time, it's exciting to me.
Mhm.
And then I taught myself photography and started a part-time photography business. And so I was doing newborns, families, and so that was kind of the best of the both worlds to me because it was photography and marketing.
Mhm.
But then, Goat Yoga happened, and then now I don't take pictures of people anymore. I just take pictures of goats, and but it's still fun because I get to do the marketing part.
Yeah, nice. So,
Actually, too, I'm writing a book right now, and with a ghostwriter is helping me, and she asked me what I used to do when I was a kid, like what I used to play. And I said, I never owned a doll. I never had a Barbie doll. I didn't have toys. I always went outside to play. But I remember I would always start fake businesses. And my dad owned his own business. So I would take his forms and I would make my friends fill out these forms. And I started this was like kindergarten too. I started a newspaper for my neighborhood, and it was about all the things that were going on in my neighborhood.
okay. Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I guess I started pretty young at being an entrepreneur.
It sounds like it indeed, and it helps if your parents or your father or your mother were an entrepreneur as well.
Yeah.
Nice. If you would like to give the audience a little tip or a little piece of wisdom about following your passion or entrepreneurship or something in general, what would it be?
Well, it would have to be that there is no dumb idea, because look at Goat Yoga. Who would have thought that, we hit the $1 million mark, and who would have known that that would have been $1 million idea? And it was, I didn't get all that. I have to share it with all my locations, but if you really feel like passionate about something, you just have to go for it and have that tenacity to just, a lot of people, if they face a negative person or a no, or then they just say, well, I guess that probably wasn't a good idea. And you can't be like that. You have to have a crazy tenacity to make it happen, and put in the time. It's not easy, but it can happen. I'm proof of that.
Nice, thank you. If people want to know more about you or Goat Yoga or the Goat Tales or whatever, or want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
For the Goatel, you can go to thegoatel.com. And Goat Yoga is goatyoga.net. And we have 10 locations all over the US. And I do speaking engagements, and there's a lot of good stuff on the website, including a lot about goat therapy and why the scientific reasons behind why it's good for you.
Nice. I really loved talking to you, Leni, especially also the openness, because it's following your passion isn't always a walk in the park, right? Sometimes it's just pure survival. And it's just what you said, you know, to have this crazy tenacity and perseverance to make it happen. It's admirable. So thank you for sharing your wisdom, your experience, being so open. And I wish you all the best. And I would love to follow your achievements and how the Goat Hotel goes. And I hope that the Goat Yoga classes will be full again soon.
Thank you.
This was the Follow Your Passion, and let's keep in touch.
Oh, I would love that.